morning and welcome to the Geelong Cricket Show. Yes, the nice red cherry will be out there this afternoon, whipping up and down because it's finals time in our great city of Geelong and our great game of cricket. So I'm joined this morning at the table of knowledge. Well, he may be a little bit disappointed, but he's still very, very much looking forward to this afternoon's finals cricket. Tim Michell, how are you, Tim?
Yeah, good, Graham. As you say, it's an interesting time because obviously, unfortunately, last weekend Barwon Heads did have a draw against Anglesea, which put us out with Drysdale defeating Colindina, which was the big result of the first weekend of finals down on the Ballerine, and also the boys that I coach at Barwon Heads did go out as well. So it turns out that this shows my only real attachment in the end to our cricket for the rest of the season. So I'm certainly going to enjoy being here with yourself and our special guest this morning as well.
Our special guest this morning, we call him the playing president in the world of Geelong cricket from the South Barwon Cricket Club, who unfortunately was affected by rain last Saturday. Who wasn't in their game against North Geelong? It's a very warm welcome to Darren Hauenstein. How are you, Darren?
Yeah, good, thanks, Graham. Yeah,
a little bit wet down there at South Barwon?
Yeah, last week it was very wet, unfortunately, but what can you do? You can't really leave your final spot up until the last round of the season, so I suppose it's our own fault for not getting the results during the year.
We'll have a talk about GCA and Ballerine Peninsula Cricket Association throughout our program this morning. But first of all, the world of Premier Cricket. And the world of Premier Cricket, the Geelong Cricket Club, well, they've capped off a great season. They've got their 4 11s all playing in the first round of finals of Premier Cricket. They've also finished third in the club championship behind Ringwood and Carlton. So it's been a great season for the Geelong Cricket Club. And first of all, in the first 11, Geelong are coming up against Ringwood, and they're going to be playing up at Ringwood at the Ringwood Main Oval. Tim, this will be a very, very good game and a clash between two old rivals as far as finals go.
Yeah, it certainly is. Over the last few seasons in the finals, we've seen these two sides meet, Graham. A couple of seasons ago, we did see Geelong go down to Ringwood in the season's deciders, so maybe there's still, in a sense, a little bit of a score to settle for Geelong, and obviously they're in a different position to what we've seen over the last few seasons, having to continue to win throughout this final series, coming in 6th, and it's going to be a huge test of Damien Shanahan and the boys. Had they been able to get on for enough overs last weekend, then they really would have been a chance of getting the top 4 with because they were in a fantastic position against Footscray Edgewater up there at the Merv Hughes Oval, but it turned out that they couldn't get enough overs in. I think Footscray was 7 down at the end of that one, and it does mean that Geelong has a huge test to try and get all the way through finals without losing a game. But the way they're playing at the moment, Graham, I think they'll take some confidence in, and they will take some beating in that game against Ringwood that kicks off today.
Darren, from an outside looking in, and a man who's played a lot of cricket and still playing, how important is it, do you feel, to be playing a home final for Ringwood?
I suppose for Ringwood, obviously, they'll get the familiar surroundings that they've played in their whole season, I suppose. But when it comes down to it, it's probably not a huge sort of advantage. I assume both wickets are going to be, pretty similar, being a VCA wicket. So you'd think, that it's probably not too much of an advantage. But, with some of the Geelong experienced guys in there, obviously Clinton Peake, ex-South Barwon player towards the end of his career, and, Trent Waller is the two guys that, hopefully can have a big one for the Cats.
Tim, the combination of, which Darren mentions, of experience and youth as far as Geelong's concerned, consistency has been a better position for Geelong throughout this season. So they're really going to take it up to Ringwood. Shanahan in terrific form, all points in the right direction. Yeah,
it certainly does. As you mentioned, Graham, Damien Shanahan in fantastic touch, and probably in the best touch of the seasons that he has had with Geelong. He's batting really well at the top of the order. If he can set a little bit of a foundation, we still don't know with the commitments that Aaron Finch has had over the last few months or so with Geelong, whether he'll be suiting up. You'd expect him to play some role over in this finals series for the Cats, though, because he's obviously such an influential player and has been for Victoria as well throughout it. So there's plenty of players in some good touch. As you mentioned, there's a mix too of experience and youth in this Geelong side at the moment. Alex Stanley's one guy who's come in over the last few weeks and had an impact. He just played a roll up at about 180 balls, and that's probably what Geelong have lacked at times, just that one player that can hang around. They've got a lot of players that like to blast away and get their runs very quickly, but if Alex can just provide that platform and have guys like Liam Buchanan and all those talented players that there are in that Geelong middle order work around him, then I think the Cats will be able to set a foundation and set a score that's going to be very tough for Ringwood to chase down.
Darren, in round 10, Geelong played a one-dayer against Ringwood, and it was a one-way street. Ringwood all out 114, Geelong won for 116. How much importance from a playing perspective do you put on that going into finals?
Yes, probably a psychological edge there with the Cats winning so easy against them last time. But as you said, that was a one-day game. Sort of two-day cricket can change a fair bit. And it really would depend on how, I suppose, the sort of game gets underway. You know, if Geelong get on top early, then maybe those, that last result can take in place. But if Ringwood, sort of get on top, then, those sort of results don't matter too much.
All the best to the Geelong first 11. The Geelong second 11 are playing down at the Geelong Cricket Ground where they take on Dandenong. And during the season, Geelong 217 defeated Dandenong all out for 81 in a one-day in round 5. Tim?
The positive thing for the second 11, I think, Graham, is that a lot of their players have had exposure to our first 11 cricket. We don't expect Matthew Harrison, who batted so fantastically last weekend, to be out there in the second 11. I'm sure he'll be stepping up and suiting up in the first 11 later today against Ringwood. But the second 11 guys that have come to the club, Adam Como, I should say, is one that springs to mind. He's certainly been one of the catalysts with the ball for the second 11 for a lot of the season, played a few first 11 games, and that exposure is going to stand out. A lot of the guys in this second 11 in good stead. We also got the under-18 Rockets captain from early this season too, Alex Graham, in fairly good touch with the bat in that side as well. So certainly a lot looking good for the second 11, and I'd expect them too to really take it up to their opponents later today.
And Darren, Travis Agg has done a terrific job leading the Geelong second 11 into second place after home and away games.
Yeah, I was going to mention that about this game in regards to Travis Agg. Like, he's probably been able to mould that team over the last couple of seasons. So, with his bowling, he's a top-class bowler at that sort of level. So I'm sure he'll lead the guys, and finishing second on the ladder at the end of the home and away season. These guys have probably got the best chance to bring a trophy home to Geelong.
The third 11 take on Richmond at the Merv Hughes Oval at Footscray Edgewater, and Geelong finishing 8th, Richmond finishing on top. But during the home and away series, Geelong 6 for 341 defeated Richmond 246. And in the fourth 11, St Kilda played Geelong, who finished in 6th position at the main oval at Hawthorn Monash University. And in round 4 in a one-dayer, Geelong went down by 1 run to St Kilda in that particular clash. So a very important round. Geelong firsts, seconds, thirds and fourth 11s all in the finals for Premier Cricket, and congratulations to Geelong Cricket Club for finishing in 3rd position in the club championship. We'll go to a break on the Geelong Cricket Show and be back talking Bellarine and Geelong Cricket Association after this.